Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Good rising to all of you out there, no matter where you find yourself in the earth today. Today is Sunday, November 17th, and it's about 11:10 a.m. Hope everybody had a good night's rest out there. We're going to give it a few more minutes to see if any brews or whoever comes up in here. This is a Sunday morning success book reading. We're going to be reading the first chapter in a book called Copycat Marketing 101, How to Copycat Your Way to Wealth. Hit that like button on your way in the door. We're going to give it about 5-6 more minutes to see if any more brews come up in here, and then we're going to be getting started. Hit that like button on your way in the door. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And immediately following this live stream, like literally after this live stream ends, 5 minutes later, I'll be coming right back with another live stream. Maybe you'll be interested in that one. Maybe you won't. But hit the like button. I can tell you that the live stream that I'm coming with right after this one is not for everybody. Okay, I can tell you that. But if it's for you, I guess I'll see you. If not, no harm, Hebrew. No harm, no foul, okay? Hit that like button on your way in the door. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not, we're going to give it about 5 more minutes to see if any more people come up in here. If not, we'll get right into the book reading, Copycat Marketing. This is we reading this morning, y'all. These people should be paying me for this. They should be paying me. Copycat Marketing, How to Copycat Your Way to Wealth by Burke Hedges. I don't know about you, Hebrew, but I'm ready to get out of this 9-to-5 slavery. I don't know about you. Good rising to all of you out there. It's about 11:12 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I hope you guys are up. I hope you are getting active. All right. I've been up since early this morning, Hebrew. Went out, got my blood flow going. Did me some cardio. Got me a good jog in. I also did about, a couple of 100 seconds of dead hang, body hangs. You know what I mean? We got brother J.R. Meadows in his house. What up, J.R. Meadows? J.R. Meadows says coffee. I had about 1 cup. I'm sorry. I had about 11 cups. No BS. Whoa. I see you, brother JR. I believe that says right. I had to double check that. Said 11 cups. Hey, I feel you. Hope all is well with you, brother JR. Hope all is well with everyone out there. Brother JR Meadows says, I got a coffee maker. Oh, okay. There it is. You know what? I think, in fact, I'm sure, Most High willing, this upcoming year, 2025, he allows me to see that year, Most High willing. Think I'm going to cop me a coffee maker, bruh. J.R. Meadows says 100. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to cop me a coffee maker, bruh. Like, for real. These people need to be paying me for this. Hit the like button on your way in the door, Hebrew. About another minute or two, we're going to start to check out some of this right here. J.R. Meadow says coffee definitely good. That's right. Let them know. Let them know. Listen up, Hebrew. As I start to read this book right here, we're gonna get some gems out of this right here. Something that we all gotta understand. If you want to make money, if you want to turn a profit, you're gonna have to learn what it takes. J.R. Meadow says week 12 rigged. NFL shaking my head. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised at nothing at this point, brother J.R. Meadows. It would not surprise me, bro. And you know what? Speaking of rigging, I want to say it was back in the 1920s, the very first time that the World Series got fixed, aka rigged, by a gangster named Arnold the Brain Rothstein. Go Google it, Hebrew. Go Google that or go YouTube that and see what you come back with. Arnold the Brain Rothstein. The Brain was a gangster. And he's the first person to have the World Series fixed. It was rigged because of gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 1920s. You know how much money he made off of doing that? J.R. Meadow says, wow, laugh out loud. Yeah. Y'all go check that out when y'all get a chance. Arnold the Brain Rothstein. Straight gangster. But we getting ready to read out of this, Hebrew. We're getting ready to read. We're getting ready to read. Hope all is well out there on the home front, Hebrews. Yep. Yep. Okay. Now, I want you guys to listen to this, all right? This is what we're reading out of, all right? Copycat Marketing 101, how to copycat your way to wealth. Okay? Now, let me just I'm going to give a biblical disclaimer, right? Because I could come on here and give you guys all kind of disclaimers, right? And you can say, oh, that's cap. But let me start off by saying this, right? Because I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea out here. If you already are subscribed to this channel, then you know what kind of channel that this is. But maybe you're somebody, today is the first day that you've claimed upon this channel. This is your very first video finding this channel. You might not know what to make of me, what to make of this channel. I can tell you this. This channel right here is a biblically based channel. But we talk about all kind of things because guess what? Believe it or not, the Bible, the scriptures, talks about all kind of things. So we do too, because this channel was based out of the Old Testament Torah and Tanakh scriptures. So we talk about all kind of topics. We even talk about the difficult topics that some people get very uncomfortable with. We talk about it all over here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And something that we got to start doing, we got to start transforming our mindset out of the slave mindset into being free. Okay, there's a lot of things that come along with being free. A lot of these things, many of our people, we don't know about because many of our people are not free. Physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, you name it. We're knee deep in captivity. And today we're talking about finances, money, cashola, cashew, cheese, bread, cheddar. Okay, you understand what we're talking about. And I just used all those different names. Some of those names sound like food, all different kind of stuff, but you know they mean one thing, and that's cash money. See, the English language is the only language where one word can mean like 7 different things. Kind of diabolical, if you ask me. But anyway, that's the language I know. That's the language I speak, because my people were conquered by the Englishmen, the Edomites. Okay. For those of you who don't know what that is, hey, subscribe to the channel and you will get brought up to speed. But today, we're going to be learning about how to copycat your way to wealth. Hebrew, all of us have to be open to learning, okay? A lot of this information we get ready to be reading, a lot of the other people in the world, the non-Hebrew people, the non-Negro people, many of them know the things that are in this book, but we have pulled up late to the party, okay? For so long, many of our people were not able to read, and since you were unable to read for so long, now many of our people have lost the desire to read anything. But that's what happens when you have barbaric ways imposed upon you. But we are here to break you out of those chains, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally. We're here to break all kind of chains. Whatever you got on you, them chains about to come off today, okay? And we're going to start right here, since we're talking about money, talking about wealth, talking about cash, something that a lot of religious people or spiritual people or church people would tell you, hey, brother, you ought not be thinking about cash, brother. You ought not be talking about making money, brother. Stick to reading Bible verses and nothing else, brother. Well, listen to this. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. Biblical disclaimer for everybody out there who wants to know why we talking about money. And we're going to be talking about money much more in this channel. We're going to be talking about all kind of things concerning reality. And once again, it's a shame that I got to even ask you guys questions like this. But for anybody out there who says we shouldn't be talking about money, you shouldn't be talking about eating breakfast today. And you shouldn't be talking about eating lunch or dinner either, because all of those things cost money. Don't talk about money, brother. Don't think about money, brother. That's the same thing as telling somebody not to think about eating breakfast, not to think about eating lunch. You see how stupid and idiotic that sounds? We got to break these mental chains, all right? You were not made to be broke, poor, and destitute. That came about, though, as a result of us breaking the commandments. You open yourself up to all kinds of foolishness and foolery. But listen to this. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is this day. That was out of the NIV version, okay? Let's go down to the King James Bible. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he sware unto thy fathers as it is this day. Let's check it out in the I'm loving it. Let's check it out in the, because there's multiple different versions up here. Let's check it out in God's word translation. But remember the Lord your God is the one who makes you wealthy. The Most High never told you not to think about getting wealthy. It's telling you he is the one who's going to get you wealthy. Look at this. The Good News translation. Remember that it is the Lord your God who gives you the power to become rich. He does this because he is still faithful today to the covenant that he made with your ancestors. But I thought the New Testament told you to sell all you have and give to the poor. But we reading out of the Torah. You guys, listen to this again. This is Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 18. And we're coming out of the Good News translation. Remember that it is the Lord your God who gives you the power to become rich. He does this because he is still faithful today to the covenant that he made with your ancestors. Do you guys see this? We are going to be talking about money a lot more around here because you know what? In this world, like I said, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, last I checked, that costs money. And the money that it costs is steadily going up. So the next time that a Christian or a Catholic or a Messianic tells you, brother, you ought not talk about money, brother. I want you to read them Deuteronomy 8 and 18. The Most High is the one who gives us power to get rich. And he does this because he is still faithful today to the covenant that he made with our ancestors. You guys, I'm telling you, you put the Most High first, serve him and him only, do your best to keep the commandments, and then you need to go out here and think about how you can bring in an abundance of wealth. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. I don't really care who agrees with that because you don't have a problem with me. You got a problem with the Torah and the Tanakh, which I don't. And I know you brothers and sisters don't either. So guess what? Let's delve into this now. With that biblical disclaimer, the Most High God is the one who gives you power to get rich because he is still faithful to the covenant that he made with your ancestors. We serving the Most High. The Most High don't want us just barely scraping by and getting by. That was a punishment, you guys, because we broke the covenant. But now that we are turning back to the Most High, serving him and him only, keeping the commandments to the best of our abilities, the Most High don't want us being broke, poor, and destitute. That was a curse and a punishment, you guys. We breaking up out of that. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Copycat marketing, how to copycat your way to wealth. Here we go. We're going to check it out. Okay? Now look. Hold up. Let me see. We got the introduction. Okay, you know what? I'm going to read the introduction, and then we're going to read the first chapter. The introduction to this book so that we know what we're dealing with right now. You got to get a base and a mindset and a mind frame for where this author is coming from. And if you think that these people don't know how to make money, you've lost your mind, Hebrew. But guess what? I'm going to help revive you today. You going to learn today just like I'm going to learn. We all learning this together. That's why I'm going live and we're reading this together. Okay? Introduction. If you don't like your results, change your approach. There are two things needed these days. First, for rich people to find out how poor people live. And second, for poor people to find out how rich people work. Okay? One of my favorite business stories is about a middle-aged manager struggling to pay his bills, so he decides to get some advice from a financial expert. The manager makes an appointment to meet with a well-respected financial advisor whose office was located in a swanky building on Park Avenue. The manager enters the expert's elegantly appointed reception room, but instead of a receptionist, the manager is greeted by two doors. One marked employed and the other self-employed. He enters the door marked employed and is greeted by two more doors. One marked makes less than 40,000 and the other marked makes more than 40,000. He makes less than 40,000, so he enters that door, only to find himself face to face with two more doors. The door on the left is marked saves more than 2,000 a year, and the one on the right is marked saves less than 2,000 a year. The manager only has about $1,000 in his savings, so he enters the door on the right, only to find himself right back on Park Avenue. The same doors lead to the same results. You see that? It's painfully obvious that the manager is in the story will never get out of his rut until he starts choosing to open different doors. The moral of the story is that the most people are like the manager. They choose to enter the doors of life that lead them right back to where they started. The only way for people to get different results is to choose to enter different doors. Isn't that true? Like any of my mentors always used to say, if you continue to do what you've always done, you continue to get what you've always gotten. Are you a 95 percenter or a 5 percenter? Just like the manager in the story, most people are caught in a rut because they are trapped in an endless cycle of financial frustration. Just like the manager in the story, 95% of the workers in most industrialized countries are employed and they make less than 40,000 per year and they save about 2,000 per year. At first glance, these figures look pretty impressive, especially to people who make less than 40,000. But the truth is, 95% of the people in this world aren't getting ahead. They're just getting by. Take a look at the financial conditions of the average US citizen at age 65. Okay, you pretty much get the picture with that, right? That's the introduction. It's basically letting you know, I'm not going to read the whole introduction, but it's basically letting you know that the majority of people in this world, 95% people in this world, they're going to walk through the door with no problem that says employed. And you saw from that introduction, you keep walking through the same door, you're going to get the same results. This video right here is not for people who want the same old results. This video right here is for people who are looking for a different way. You don't want to be a 95% no more who continues to walk through the door that says employed. You're going to continue to be in the rut. You're going to continue to be in the rat race. You're going to continue to be in the 9-to-5 slavery. Now, for 95% of the people on planet Earth, that is okay. Those are the doors that they want to willfully walk through. I don't want to walk through those doors no more. I know that there is at least one other person out there. You're tired of walking through those same old doors. You want to walk through another door. You're tired of being a part of the 95%. Chapter 1. We live in a world of copycats. And we only going to read chapter 1. Okay? We only going to read chapter 1. We live in a world of copycats. You see that? We live in a world of copycats. Children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. James Baldwin said that. One of the first books I remember reading as a kid was a joke book. I can still remember one of the corny jokes that used to crack up my friends and me. It takes money to make money. You have to copy the designs exactly. Hey, I told you it was a corny joke, didn't I? But the sentiment is dead serious. Why haven't we found a way to copycat creating wealth? Think about it. We copycat everything else in our lives, don't we? But the one thing we haven't learned to copycat is creating true wealth. Let's take a few moments to talk about the power of copycatting. And then we'll look at some of the reasons most people haven't found a way to copycat wealth creation. One thing we're all good at is copycatting. Each of us is blessed with certain talents and gifts that make us one-of-a-kind individuals. Some people are great dancers, while others can't tap their feet to the beat. Some of us have a talent for art, while others have trouble drawing a stick figure. Some of us are great athletes, while others can barely walk a straight line without stumbling. But the one thing each and every one of us is good at, without exception, is copycatting. Have you ever thought about how good we are at copycatting? When it comes to copycatting, we're all gifted. We're copycat geniuses. Copycatting is one trait we all excel at and that we all have in common. No matter where we live, no matter what our individual talents are, it makes no difference whether we are rich or poor, black or white, male or female. The one thing we're all great at is copycatting. So, why haven't we found a way to copycat creating wealth? Copycats from the cradle to the grave. Copycatting starts the day we are born. We copy the language we speak, the food we eat, the way we wear our hair, the way we walk, the way we dress. When we enter school, we learn to read and write by copying letters in the alphabet. If you were born in a Western culture, you copycatted the system of writing from left side of the paper to the right. If you were born in parts of Asia, you copycatted writing from right to left. As we grew older, we learned to drive a car by copycatting, didn't we? The instructor showed us how to check the rear view mirror, turn on the turn signal, push slightly on the gas pedal, drive the speed limit, and come to a full stop at intersections. The better we were at copycatting our driving instructor, the easier it was to pass our driving test. Do you guys see this? I know somebody out there sees this. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. We're so good at copycatting. The people around us, we often are shocked by the customs and habits of people from different cultures. That's what the expression, when in Rome, do what the Romans do, is all about. It's a plain way of saying that we need to honor and respect different cultures, especially when we are visiting other countries. But that's a lot easier said than done. We get so comfortable with copycatting the customs around us that we're often amazed and amused when we hear what other cultures are copycatting. The short list of favorite snacks of TV watchers around the world will shock you just what I mean. United States, they like popcorn. China, chicken feet. Japan, tea sandwiches. Mexico, ears of roasted corn. India, mutton sandwiches. Korea, sun-dried squid. You see that? Did you think to yourself, how could they eat that? Sun-dried squid, chicken feet? You've got to be kidding. But guess what? You'd probably be snacking on while you were watching TV if you grew up in Korea. That's right, sun-dried squid. Copycatting the way we work. Hit that like button. Copycatting the way we work. Here's my point. There are countless differences between cultures, but the one thing every single culture has in common is the way we go about learning the customs we practice. We copycat. We copycat so much that we take it for granted. Copycatting is so prevalent that it's second nature to us, like breathing air. So I ask you again, why haven't we found a way to copycat creating wealth? Make no mistake about it. Copycatting is the most powerful learning tool known to humans. Copycatting impacts virtually every single phase of our lives, from our smallest habits to our biggest life altering decisions. For example, we spend a big part of our lives at work. We talk about that a lot over here too, you guys. I'm trying to stop that. I am going to stop that trend in my life, spending the majority of my life in a 9 to 5 slavery. I guarantee you, I'm going to stop that. For example, we spend a big part of our lives at work. Did you ever stop to consider how you learn to perform the tasks you perform at work? How did you learn to write a letter on the computer? How did you know what to wear to the office? And how did you teach others who were new on the job? by teaching them to copycat what you did. Isn't that true? The psychologists call it modeling and mirroring. I call it being a professional copycat. You guys see this? No question. We copycat our way through life from the cradle to the grave because copycatting is easy to do. We don't have to keep creating everything from scratch all the time. It works. And we're born geniuses at it. The expression, monkey see, monkey do, could just as easily be people see, people do. That's why I say we live in a world of copycats. If there's one thing every single person in this world is good at, it's copycatting. A short history lesson of copycatting jobs. Listen up and hit the like button on this video as you come in the door. We even go so far as to copycat how we earn money. For thousands of years, children of farmers copycatted their parents and became farmers. Children of shoemakers became shoemakers. That's why so many of our last names come from the trades. Names like farmer, smith, carpenter, tailor, and so on. Do you guys see this? With the advent of the Industrial Revolution, millions of children with the last names like Farmer, Smith, Carpenter, and Taylor broke away from the family trade and headed to the city to copycat a new concept of work, the job. Copycatting the job worked pretty well for several generations, especially in America, the undisputed king of the Industrial Revolution, because the first half of the 20th century was overshadowed by the two world wars and the Great Depression. Most people were overjoyed to copycat their family and friends and work a 9-to-5 job. We always talk about that, y'all. And as long as people's expectations didn't exceed their standard of living, people who copycatted the gotta get a job mentality were content with what they had. Think before you copycat. I repeat, think before you copycat. Like most everything in life, there's a flip side to copycatting. Just because we copycat something doesn't necessarily make it good or efficient or productive. Unfortunately, all too often copycatting is an excuse to get lazy in our thinking. It reminds me of the story about the old shopkeeper on Main Street who placed a grandfather clock in the front window of his store. Over the years, the shopkeeper noticed that a distinguished looking man would walk by the store every day at noon, pause in front of the grandfather clock, pull out a pocket watch, and carefully set the time. One day, the shopkeeper's curiosity got the best of him. When the gentleman paused in front of the grandfather clock, the shopkeeper ran out of the store and asked the man why he set his watch each and every day. The man smiled and replied, "I'm the foreman at the town mill," he said. "I blow the quitting whistle at 5 each day, and I want to be sure it goes off exactly on time." The old shopkeeper gave him a startled look and then burst out laughing. The man stepped back and asked indignantly, "What's so funny?" "I'm sorry," replied the shopkeeper. "I didn't mean to be rude, but I just had to laugh. You see, all these years I've been setting my grandfather clock to your 5 o'clock whistle." This story is a perfect illustration of the downside of copycatting. We copy others, others copy us. And all too often, we assume that the people we are copying have the right answer. I repeat, we assume we are copying the right people. That's exactly what happens when we take a job without really thinking about why we took the job. I think most people assume that jobs are the best way to create wealth, when in fact, jobs don't create true wealth. Jobs create temporary income. And there's a big, big difference between the two. Let's re-examine copycatting the job. Like I said earlier, copycatting is the most powerful learning tool known to humans. But every now and then, we have to step back and examine our assumptions about what we are copying and why, to make sure copycatting will indeed give us what we think it will give us. Throughout this chapter, I've repeatedly asked the question, why haven't we found a way to copycat creating wealth? The answer is painfully obvious. Most of us have been copycatting the job track instead of the wealth creation track. You see that, Hebrews? This video day today is designed to get all of us to start thinking differently and to do what we've been doing our whole lives, which is copycat, but not copycat the go get a job phase. Copycat true wealth creation, okay? Why? Because most people assume that a job is the only way to actualize their financial dreams. Perhaps they are unaware of alternatives to the job. Perhaps they don't believe there are other sources of wealth. Or perhaps they didn't think they are capable of creating true wealth by working outside the job routine. Hebrews, that's the point we're trying to drive home today. These other nations, these other people, they know this. Now it's our turn. Whatsoever the reason, the result is the same. Most people become 95 percenters instead of 5 percenters because they are copycatting the job track and creating temporary income instead of true wealth. What about you? What are you choosing to copycat? Are you choosing to be like the 95 percenter of the people who are copycatting the job track? Or are you choosing to be like the 5% who are copycatting the wealth creation track? Get off your assumptions. As a wise person once observed, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Today, more than ever before, it's imperative that we open our minds and become aware that jobs are a system for income creation, not wealth creation. I believe that if people are serious about getting ahead in life, instead of just getting by, then they have to get off their assumptions and open their minds to alternative ways of creating wealth. I believe that the 95 percenters, that is, people who continue to enter the door marked job, will continue to end up right back on the street where they started. I believe, however, that if we truly sincere about getting different results and becoming 5 percenters, we need to start entering doors that will open to wealth creation. To the next chapter, in the next chapter, we will talk more in depth about the differences between income creation and wealth creation. And we'll learn why true wealth is more attainable today than ever before in history. That ends chapter 1 in Copycat Marketing 101, how to copycat your way to wealth. Okay? We got to learn to start thinking outside of the box. Not temporary income. That's what a job is. Even if you're making 100,000 a year, that's temporary income. Because the moment you stop working that job, if you miss a day at work, you're not getting paid. Something happens and you have to miss time from work, you're not getting paid. That's temporary income. If we want to do something different outside of that, if we want to get away from the 9 to 5 rat race, we're going to have to stop thinking like the 95 percenters. Just go get a job. We are going to have to think of how to learn to copycat the right people, not the job people. Learn to copycat people who are creating true wealth. And true wealth is not created by a job. Although we need our 9 to 5 slaveries to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and to not sleep in an alley on the streets, we need our 9 to 5s. But while we are working our 9 to 5 slaveries, we should be thinking long and hard how to create true wealth. You're going to have to think outside of the box. You're going to have to start your own side hustle or your own business. I'm going to tell you, go out and start a YouTube channel. If you don't know how to get started, well, for starters, if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel, and we will be making more videos about how all of us can learn to copycat wealth creation, not copycat temporary income. And we, all of us, look, just like this book said, y'all, we all are already master copycatters. Anybody out there who works a 9-to-5 slavery job, you are a master copycatter. How did you learn how to do your job? Somebody had to show you a few times and you had to copycat them, didn't you? How did you ever train anybody on your job? You had to show them, hey, do it like this. They had to watch you, didn't they? They had to copycat you, didn't they? That's how they was able to get trained by you. I'm telling you, all of us have been trained by the wrong people. These people, these other nations, they know a thing or two about creating wealth. That's why they have so much of it, okay? And since you have decided to turn back to the Most High, if you are somebody who already subscribed to this channel, then more than likely you've already turned back to the Most High. You worshiping Him and serving Him and Him only. You doing your best to keep the Most High's commandments. Being broke is not for you no more. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. Remember that it is the Lord your God who gives you the power to become rich. He does this because he is still faithful today to the covenant that he made with your ancestors. And that's coming out of the Good News translation. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. You can go and read that in whatever translation you want. The Most High God gives us power to become wealthy, to get wealth, because to this day he still honors the covenant. And guess what? Being broke, being destitute, and lack of resources and riches, that ain't how we supposed to be living no more. That was part of the curses. That was the punishment for breaking the Most High's laws. If you have now turned back to the Most High's laws, serving him and him only, now all you got to do is break the Christian mentality that you need to stay broke and poor. Christians want God's people to be broke, destitute, begging, and poor. But the Most High God gave us power to get rich because he's still faithful to the covenant. We got to get that throughout here, you guys. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Let's get this money out here, y'all, so we can actually walk away from these 9-to-5 slaveries. And we will be a part of the 5% of them. And then people will want to come out there and copy us. And you know what will happen? If all of us start to engage in true wealth creation, we won't have to be at that weak-ass job slavery no more. We'll be able to travel around the United States of America or wherever we are, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the time that we got left on this earth, and spreading the good word, the good news about our Father, Yahweh, and how it's all about Yahweh and Yahweh only and no other deity. Wouldn't that be a pleasure for us to be able to spend our free time when we used to have to spend it at a 9-to-5 slavery? How much more fun would life be if you could take those same 9-to-5 hours and spend that out going for a jog, out getting exercise, out going swimming, maybe out going bike riding, maybe going and hanging out in the mountains, maybe traveling out to California, Utah, or traveling out of the country, doing whatever, enjoying nature, enjoying your family, meeting new Hebrews, spreading the word of the Most High God wherever you go in your travels, and having fun while you're doing it. Going out to the finest restaurants to get your grub on, and having a good old time while you're doing it, just as happy as you can be, traveling from state to state, city to city, town to town, bank account on swole, because the Most High gave you power to get rich, and you decided to take him up on that power by going out and rerouting our thoughts. That's what we got to do right now. This is the time. This is the season. Believe it or not, this is the age of Aquarius. For those of you who understand what that means, this ain't got nothing to do with no damn witchcraft or no sorcery like the heathens taught you. It's merely a reference to the position of the stars and the constellations in the sky at any given time in Earth's history, including today. Understand what time you're living in right now. It's time to come up out of the curses. We have turned back to the Most High and Him only. Being broke ain't for us no more. We've been broke all our lives. We've been in the hood all our lives. We've been scratching and scraping for money all our lives. You know what? For somebody out there, them days is over. But first, you got to see it up here first, okay? Just like with anything, you got to get it through your head. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. The good news version, the Most High, the Lord your God gave you power to get rich. Are you going to take him up on that? Or are you going to let some Christian, some Messianic, or some church person tell you you shouldn't be talking about money? When I just read to you in Deuteronomy 8 and 18, the Most High gave you power to get rich. What you going to do? I'm going to do my best, okay, to take the Most High up on that offer. Because you know what? Just getting rich won't only just serve you if you love the Most High God. Guess what? You can go out there and show somebody else how to get rich. Go out and show somebody else Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Guess what? Guess what you can do if you a Hebrew who serves the Most High and him only, and the Most High gave you the power to get rich, and you actually take him up on it and go out there and get rich. Guess what you can do now? Now you can help some Hebrews out here who down on their luck. Think what a rich Hebrew, somebody who serves Yahweh and him only and keeps the commandments, and you get filthy rich out here. Or should I say squeaky rich? Because if you get rich, ain't going to be nothing filthy about you. You're going to be squeaky clean rich. Not filthy. You're going to get clean rich. Imagine with a person who serves Yahweh and him only and keeps the commandments, and you get squeaky clean rich. Imagine the kind of good and the help that you can bring to Hebrew Israelites right here in America and worldwide. Imagine what you can do for these niggas here in America if you got rich and you righteous. Do you know how much help you can bring to the Hebrews? Stop listening to the Catholics and Christians. Being broke ain't for us no more. We served our time. Those days are over. Now it's time to claim the power. Time to get rich. Time to take back the earth and everything in it. It's yours. Are you going to take the Most High up on it? Are you going to take him up on those blessings? Because the Most High is still true and faithful to the covenant. That's why he's giving you the power to get rich. Deuteronomy 8:18. Read it and weep, all you Christians out there and everybody else out there that want to keep us from talking about money. Telling you, no, brother, you shouldn't be thinking about that. Are you out of your mind? I just read Deuteronomy 8:18. I don't need anybody to agree with me because I'm not the one that said it. The Most High God, Yahweh, said it. And you better take the Most High up on that. You can change your life if you change your mind. You got to change your mind first, Hebrew. That's why this is Sunday morning success stream. Book reading, copycat marketing, how to copycat your way to wealth. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and just start binge watching all these videos so you get brought up to speed exactly what we about over here. Catch you on the next one, Hebrews. Peace. And also, I'll be going live right after this. Now, this live I'm getting ready to do right after this is not for everybody. It is for who it's for. If it's for you, I guess I'll see you later. If not, Tav X, Hebrews, purity and becoming one. Much love to the family. Go out here and let's be successful, Hebrew. Peace.